Hey everybody, I'm Sarah Harnish, Young Living Diamond, and I'm the author of the Game Plan book, which is Game Plan, the complete strategy guide to go from starter kit to silver. And you need that book and this companion workbook to be able to make it through boot camp. You guys have made it to day 10 already, which is crazy. I'm so proud of you. This is a lot of work. It's a ton of work to be able to get the reading done and get the workbook done and follow along on the videos, but you're doing it. You're out there and you're fighting for your business. And so I believe in you. We got these last 3 days nailed. You ready for tonight? We're going to hit chapters 19 and 20, which is the key to reaching and maintaining rank and balance and boundaries in teaching your business, treating your business as a business. And I love this chapter. We're going to get some really deep heart stuff this evening, and I had a lot of fun outlining it today. So chapter 19, before we jump into that, let me give you the oils of the night. And tonight I decided to go with citruses. So we've got tangerine. This is one of my favorite citrus oils. Bergamot's number 1 and lime is number 2, but tangerine's number 3. Lime in the diffuser. Oh my word. Oh my word. It's a wonderful aromatic experience. Orange. Orange is the oil of happy childhood thoughts. Help you go back to that place where all of your best memories from your childhood are. Lemon helps you focus on good things ahead. All right, good things ahead. So I gave it to you because it's a night of uplifting you. It's a night of encouraging you and showing you that you can do this even when you're totally overloaded and overwhelmed. So we're going to jump right into chapter 19 because I'm watching my time tight tonight closely. And that's how to maintain rank. And 2 words on how to maintain rank: essential rewards, right? Essential rewards. You might be awesome at signing people up, but if they all sit at 0 PV, you're not going to rank, right? You're not going to rank up. So let me give you a little analogy for that. Say you got a 40-hour-a-week job. Most of us do, right? 40-hour-a-week job. And I had my 40-hour-a-week job 22 years anchoring news. I'm actually anchoring news tomorrow morning. So I love going in. It's in my blood. I just love the thrill of the hunt in the newsroom. And so you're going in, you're working your 40-hour-a-week job, and you put in week 1, you put in week 2, you put in week 3, you put in week 4. Then you go in on August 1st, and it says everything that you did the whole month you're at work no longer exists anymore. Right? Could you imagine if everything you did, of all the newscasts I wrote, right? If you're a homeschool mom, if all the teaching you did for your babies, right? If you're a teacher, if you are a firefighter, right? Everything you did for 4 weeks has disappeared. That's what happens when you sign somebody to your team and they don't get on essential rewards. All that hard work is as if it never ever existed. Right? So if you're afraid to talk to people, don't be, because this is your cement. ER is the cornerstone to your business. It's how you rank up. It's your stepping stone into the next month. So say you sign 4 people in a month and one of them gets on essential rewards at 300 PV. The next month, you're 2 kits away from star, like bam, right there, right? Say 2 of them get on ER and maybe you start the next month already at the first rank. You don't even have to sweat the first rank. You already got it. You're looking forward. That's how you reach and maintain rank, is by getting people on essential rewards, okay? Getting them on and training the lifestyle. And so you got to talk to people twice. Once for the kit and once for the lifestyle. Once for the kit and once for the lifestyle. You might decide that you only have to talk to them when they're in your class, right? But that's not the case. That's not the case. You got to talk to him twice. All right. Got to talk to him twice at least. And then you're like, all right, Sarah, well, I talked to him twice. Then what happens? Well, then they're going to rely on themselves for their own oily education. So maybe they will get invited to specialty classes that you're teaching, like Oils of the Bible or ULA, maybe Live Your Passion rallies or online classes or events that you're doing for continuing education. Textable classes. We've talked about them a couple of times, but I've never actually shown you where they are on the website. So let me show you. If you go to oilabilityteam.com, tons of free stuff on here. Everything under the share button doesn't cost you a wink. It's all free, all right? And if you look under classes, there's 101 audio and toxin-free life audio. So this is all in Thieves. This is all in 101. So how do I do a textable class? See, if you hit play, it's all right there. Whole 101 class. That's for all the people who say they can't make it. I just go up to oilabilityteam.com. I right-click it, and I hit copy. And then you can text it to people from your cell phone. Textable class, right? It's amazing. Amazing. Absolutely works as if they're sitting in your room with you. So maybe they came to the 101 and so you text them the toxin-free life class and it doesn't cost you anything. It's free. Totally free resource up on my website. So utilize it. Another thing you can use are the ER images off of my webpage. If you go to oilabilityteam.com, it's not closed captioned yet, but we're working on it. If you go here and you go to share, do you see Essential Rewards graphics under the share button? Just click on that little sucker and it gives them a whole bunch of ideas. 3 months to a chemical-free lifestyle, 50 PV, or 190, or, we go up to 300 with the logo and without the logo, the Oilability logo, right? And so these are all ideas for them every single month to stay right at that 300 mark and get all the freebies. Maybe it's getting cleaning, or for the little ones, or emotions, right? Or detoxing. All right, building your business. There's business kit in there or a beauty kit in there. But those are just some ideas. Our team spent a lot of time putting them together and they're up there for free. You can just text them to people. You just copy the picture and literally text it to them. Works really well with Project Broadcast. Very, very well. Okay. If you wait until silver to start sharing the lifestyle, then it's going to take you a really long time to get to gold, a really long time, because you're losing those cornerstones in your business that help you rank up. So don't be so timid to touch base that you lose your business. If your ER percentages are at 20%, I'm going to give you a D- for Essential Rewards. If they're at 30%, that's average, so you get a C. If they're at 40%, you're doing pretty darn good. 40% average and above is very good in Young Living. I'll give you a B. And if you're at 50% or above, you're a rock star. You have nailed Essential Rewards and you are really, really good at it. And so now your task is to train your team to be good at it too, so that everybody on your team has 50% ER. All right, every single person. And then, wow, oh my word, the sky is the limit when you can train out your gifts and talents. So let me tell you how I lay out my month so that I'm able to really make sure I get to everything that's on my to-do list. The very, very first week of the month, I'm doing follow-up from the month before. So everybody that came to any of my classes, I've got all their contact information and I'm just building those relationships with them. It's what you're doing behind the scenes that matters, right? That counts. The whole month I'm teaching classes, maybe 1 a week, maybe 2 a week, and then I take the next week off. That's how I got to silver and gold. I would teach Friday night and Saturday morning, take the next weekend off. Teach Friday night, Saturday morning, take the next weekend off. I had to because I couldn't teach a class on a Tuesday night when I have a 7-year-old's bedtime at 8 o'clock. I had to anchor news, so I couldn't teach classes in the middle of the night. So I made it work with my schedule, with my work schedule. And my husband, he just didn't want me teaching every single weekend. So I taught 2 classes the first weekend so I could take the next weekend off, right? And I had time with him. And so the last week of the month, I'm setting up all my classes for the next month. So I'm always ahead of the game. Always, always, always. You don't want to be behind the game. If you start marketing your classes the first week of the month, you're already behind, right? You're already behind. You don't want to be behind. All right, another thing that I do to get people on Essential Rewards is Fearless. And we have trained on Fearless already in boot camp. So I'm going to kind of brush through this really, really fast. But this is a lifestyle training book. It explains basic aromatherapy to them. It goes through the starter kit. It gives them 10 challenges to really, truly start oiling with intent and purpose. So like you see redness on your skin, I want you to go to the Young Living virtual office, order V6, put it in 3 roll-ons or 3 share it bottles, put 1 in your purse, 1 in your cabinet, your kitchen, and 1 in your car. All right, then if you ever see redness, you know what to do. You just get it on, and then they're getting trained on how to get into virtual office. Right? They're very practical, hands-on thing. 80% of oiling is just putting oils in your path. It's just making sure you're using them. So take your kit out of the box and put it where you would use it. Put pan away by your shoes after your walk at night. Put stress away and your orb diffuser in your van so you can use it with your kids. Put your vitality oils on the counter in the kitchen. Right? Put them where you'll use them. And then I've got all the challenges in the back of the book to get them oiling with purpose and intent. So they just cross them off as they're doing it. Of course, Fearless drives very hard to Essential Rewards, shows them how much they save by being on ER. The first 3 months, it's 10%, right? You get 10% back in addition to the freebies, 20% on month 4, and 25% back on month 5. So hello, I don't go to the grocery store and get 25% back on my groceries. Guess where I'm going to be buying all of my laundry detergent and all my cleaning supplies? I'm going to be doing it on Young Living because I get 25% back. And then in the back of the book, I also have a list of every single oil, every oil. So as they're building their collection, they can cross the oils off and they know which ones they don't have yet. One of the most valuable parts of the book, though, is actually at the very, very back. It's called Simple Swap. And it goes through every single room by room in their house, and it says, okay, maybe you're overloaded on where to start kicking chemicals to the curb in your home, so let's just do this together 1 room at a time. We're going to start with your laundry room, then we're going to move to your cleaning closet, then we're going to move to your kitchen. And so I want you to go through each room in your home and look for the poisons in your kitchen, in your cleaning closet, with your supplements, with your beauty care, in your bathrooms, and it shows them where all the dangerous stuff is in their house. And then we take it a step further, and I tell them what to swap it out with. Right? What to swap it out with. And we give them the item number so they literally can go online in the virtual office and just pop the item number right in Quick Order or Essential Rewards. It's awesome. It really, truly is awesome. Then I challenge them to go print the calendar out themselves if they don't have a copy of it yet and accept the Fearless challenges. Now, as a leader, I give this little sucker out and I give them the challenges, which I print out my own calendars. Those are free on my website under Share and Fearless. I print it out. They send me a screenshot of the completed calendar with all the challenges done, because what's going to happen? Every oil in their kit is going to be used. They're going to have 30 days of continuous diffuser use. They're going to know how to use carriers. They're going to have basic aromatherapy training. I mean, you've like killed it with all the training with them. They know about Essential Rewards. They know about Simple Swap, right? It's really, truly an eye-opener to the lifestyle. So when they send me a screenshot of the calendar, I gift them $25 toward their first Essential Rewards order. That's how that works. Haven't had anybody say no yet. We took our ER percentages from 28 to 42% in 5 months just by using Fearless in the calendar. So it absolutely works for lifestyle training. And I would say start there, right? Start there. Another thing that I use are purple bags. And we talked about them, but I didn't dissect them for you yet. So this is a purple bag, and 50% of this is free on my website. All right, and we've got everything hyperlinked on the website so that you guys can pop right over there and know how to put these little suckers together. So let me show you where it's at up on the website, because I'm going to go through this kind of fast so we can get through both chapters today. If you go to Share, under Resources, you see purple follow-up bags right there. You just click on it. And all the stuff in here is hyperlinked. I don't think I threw Fearless in there for you or not, but it goes through exactly how to use these little ditties. I make up 100 of them every single month, and I put maybe 5 in my glove box, 5 in my purse, 5 at home, 5 in my car, and I make sure that I've always got them on hand, because 80% of your sharing oils, guys, is just having the stuff on hand when you need it for the conversation. So what does it look like on the inside? There's a cover sheet. And it says, you've just been the recipient of the famous purple bag. What's inside? A photo of the most amazing Young Living oils, instructions on how to join this team. There's a class on CD. So if they came to your 101, give them Toxin-Free Life, right? Or give them the 101. My contact information, your game plan, because I always give the business opportunity. What's the first step? Order your kit, youngliving.com. Here's my number. Bam, right? I got a copy of the business opportunity in there because it's a 15-minute read. I always put a class in, so either 101 or Toxin-Free Life. I have a flyer in there because they're a lot more likely to buy if they can see a photograph of the starter kit. So I put that in there. These are 10 cents, super easy. I have instructions on how to order off of the virtual office. These were designed by a graphic artist. So you pop in your number for sponsor and enroller, and it tells them exactly what to do piece by piece by piece. And then I also believe in Fearless training. So I give them Fearless and a calendar. Right inside those purple bags, right? And then you also need a way for them to contact you. Now, I don't have any of these things out until I have their contact information. The organza bags are on Amazon. They're 6x9. And so we hyperlinked them. See, everything's hyperlinked in here, so you can click on it and just put your own stuff in there. So that's what purple bags look like, and they have totally revolutionized my business. I mean, I average about 8 kits a month when I carry these things with me when I'm traveling. I'm going to be in Australia and Canada and all sorts of places this year, Germany and 10 countries in Europe, and my feet are all over the world this year teaching you guys how to do this. And so I carry these bags on me when I'm speaking and I'm not able to teach my own classes because I'm on the road. I let the bags teach for me. But they are moot. They don't work if you don't get their contact information. It's so important. So important. Oh, the forms. Sorry. The forms for the purple bags are right on the page. See, if I scroll down a little bit farther, they're free, guys. You can pick whichever one you want. Maybe your bags aren't purple, so it's okay. We got an essential oils swag bag. And then how to get your starter kit, you just print them off, right? We put them all up there for free for you. So just to bless you guys. Now it doesn't matter where you live. If you're in Australia like Deborah Dunn, you can print them right off of the website and assemble them yourselves, and they absolutely work. They absolutely stinking work, right? But you got to get their contact information. The only time I hear these things not working is when you just leave it hanging, or you give them the bag, you're just throwing your paycheck away when you don't collect their information. So you got to take that extra step, okay? Got to take that extra step. So let me see here. Getting overloaded with mailings. Maybe you're just like, I don't know. All right. Sarah wants me to get CDs and she wants me to get minis, your game plan and fearless. And I just got so many things to mail out. I don't even know. All right. Here's the words of wisdom. You got to live within your business budget. So if you can't afford more than 10 purple bags a month, then you go in on the order and you split it with other people in your team, right? Or maybe you're not even at that place yet, and that's okay. Then use textable classes and lean on your cell phone to be able to pull it off, right? Teach until your check is massive. Teach until it's huge. So I have them in different languages. It's coming. We've got Australian, Canadian, Mexican, and German all coming before the end of the year. So those are right on the edge. And what did I say? Canada, Australia, Mexico, Germany. Yeah, those 4 we start translation on next week. So, and I got some Spanish surprises coming for you very soon. We've been working on that all summer. So stay tuned. Get on the newsletter so that you know right away. So just live within your budget. All right, live within your budget. Maybe it's a textable class or a Facebook video chat. That's enough. You just got to build the relationships. Tools make it go faster. They make it easier on you, but they're not required to get you to diamond. They're not required, okay? It just takes some pressure off of you. That's all. That's all. You can get to diamond by teaching and just sharing and holding classes. So what if it doesn't work? What if people aren't listening to you? Well, they might not understand essential rewards or auto ship. You might not be meeting their needs. You might just be sending them the promos, blanket, right? Just sending it to them. You got to tell them why they need the promos. Most of the time people aren't on ER. It's just a lack of knowledge. They just don't understand, because most moms are not going to say, oh yes, I like poisoning my family every single day. I love the garbage in my cabinets, right? They're not going to say that. They're not going to say that. German translation, I'm thinking 2 to 3 months. All right. Yeah, you got to make sure that you're meeting them where they are. There was a beautiful woman last night who posted and said, I'm just really having a hard time. I'm talking to my friends and they're just not responding to me. And I said, well, you're leading with your story. You're not leading with them. All right. If they've had no initial contact with you at all, they have to have a reason to listen to you. And their reason is in their need. And so you have to speak to that need first, and then you can share your story and share your passion. But you got to meet them in that place where they're at. If you're not meeting them where they are, you're going to be talking to a brick wall. And nothing's coming back, right? Nothing's coming back. All right. So why essential rewards? Because you build lifelong Oilers. It's the secret from going from star to executive and silver and beyond. A team with 100, all zeros, gets you nowhere. Get you nowhere. And the real kick is showing your leaders how to do it too. And you do that with boot camp. That's how you train them. Or you don't have momentum. You need the momentum. When people tell me MLMs don't work, it's usually one of 2 things. Almost always one of these 2 things. So if they tell you network marketing is a sham, they can't get people to listen because they're not listening to them, right? They're just feeding them the message and they're not responding to what their needs are. Or there's no follow-up or relationship building, and so they lose the team that they did start to build. It starts out great, they get a paycheck, and then they start losing that team a year later as everybody starts to go inactive and drops off their team. Here's the thing, MLMs do work. You just have to do them in a way that actually leads to growth. That's how you reach and maintain rank. Do them in a way that leads to growth. All right, chapter 20, you ready? Woo, we are flying tonight. Hard to believe, but only 2 nights after this. It's crazy. We're almost done with boot camp, and I'm going to miss you guys so much, so much. So make sure you're getting on the round tables, because I'll still do those every single Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern. Get back on this Oilability with Sarah Facebook page and get on with me. I just sit there for a half hour and answer your questions, and I'll be doing it next Tuesday after game plan is over, after our boot camp's over, all right? I'm going to start this chapter with a story. I love storytelling. I tell stories to my kids all day long when we homeschool. The title of the chapter is Balance and Boundaries and Treating Your Business as a Business. And I thought the best way that I could start this was with my new book, Balance, the game plan to finding time for your young loving business with Ula. Because man, if anybody understands time management, it would be me, right? Mama of 5, autistic son, gluten, sugar, dairy free. I have celiacs and IBS. So trying to deal with food allergies and stuff in the home is very time consuming in the kitchen. Homeschooling 7 hours a day, working a 40-hour-a-week job, and not just a regular 40-hour-a-week job, but one that started at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I had to be up by 3 a.m. every day, a very high stress job. All right, let me just give you a little peek for the very first time of what it's like to be a radio network news anchor. So just follow along with me for a minute, and I'm going to share the very beginning of my Young Living business with you. And let's have story time together. So it's 4:57 a.m. In a little less than 3 minutes, the microphone will go live and my voice will go out to 7 million people in the city of Chicago. Those just waking up, those who've started their morning drive, commute into work, those shuttling their kids onto school buses, and those just beginning their day. 20 seconds ago, I was on the phone with a U.S. senator getting feedback on a story that would headline the morning. I have just seconds to grab one soundbite, work it into my newscast, and be ready to hit the airwaves with no mistakes. It's a dance. The clock and me, we're enemies. Every second in a newsroom is critical. There's neither time to eat nor time for water. There are no breaks in my shift. There's only stress. And it's like that for every single news anchor at every radio station in the country. My fingers fly over the keyboard as I proofread what I've written. It's 4:59. I have 25 seconds until go time, and it needs to be perfect. It's got to be delivered with accuracy, the right intonation and inflection and pause, powerful words, concise and to time. I have 30 seconds to tell the story. To be the anchor, you have to write concisely and deliver the words with authority. Less is more. Then I hear the stinger go off. That's my musical cue that it's time to turn on the microphone, and my board lights up and my heart races. And for a split second, I have butterflies and I feel a little lightheaded at the power that's trusted to me to be a source of reliability, to be credible, to be honest, to be balanced, to be fair, and with no time to adjust to my emotions. Off I go, seamlessly into another newscast. I must be fearless. I've delivered over 40,000 newscasts over my career in Chicago and in upstate New York. I read the script before me from top to bottom, every word so carefully chosen as I race the clock to the end of the script. It's got to time out exactly to the second. There can be no errors. I have only one shot to get it right, and that chance is taken before a live audience. The thrill of the performance and the size of the crowd makes my adrenaline race. I get closer and closer to the bottom of the script, and the soundbite plays over the air, the one that I spent an hour hunting down and editing. The last words are read. The lights go off. There's silence. And it's just me and my microphone, right? And 25 more minutes to write the next newscast. The old newscast is tossed away, never to be used again. And I start the next race against time. It's the thrill of the news hunt for content and tape and the never-ending pain of the relentless ticking clock. I read 39 newspapers every shift to cover every geographic area that the radio waves hit. And I write about 60 stories by hand alone. It's grueling, difficult work as I wrestle with the language and I fight with the clock. But then there's release. It's over. I can breathe. And I realize that I've not had food for a third of a day, because when you're in that chair, you just think of nothing but preparation and the time on the clock. And I grab my coat and I get into the elevator, and in a few moments, I'm out into the Chicago air looking for my car in a parking garage, and I slip into invisibility on the street. And now I'm mom. I start the 72-mile drive home to my 5 kids. I've worked the overnight shift in Chicago for 11 years so that my husband can carry a 9-to-5 job, and one of us is home during the day with our children, who are 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm on the radio with personalities making millions of dollars a year, but the average radio network news anchor in the 90s takes home only $35,000 a year to start. Half my paycheck goes into my gas tank to park my car and for tolls to get to work every single day. Our family of 7 is living on $16,000 a year. It's poverty level. We live in the projects. We get heat for our aid for our heat and food and aid for our medical care, but no one at work knows what's going on. I let my mind wander into all the responsibilities of my day. My 8-year-old's free judo lesson at the YMCA at 3 p.m., no groceries in the cupboards, an overdue electric bill, 6 hours of homeschooling ahead, and I start to nod off behind the wheel. It's a regular occurrence for me, highway hypnosis, as I navigate the long drive back to my home 5 or 6 days a week, completely exhausted. I have absolutely nothing left to give. I feel the grid marks on the highway loudly snap me back into reality as I swerve slightly to the right side of the road, my body not wanting to go anymore. I relent in my fight for rest, and I pull over at a gas station to take a 20-minute cat nap. If I sleep for 30 minutes, my husband will be late for work, so I get just enough rest to make my body go a little further, to keep me alert for the last 20 miles of the drive, and I stumble into my home a few minutes before 9 a.m. The kids running up to me, rested, excited, ready for another day, and I plant a kiss on my husband's cheek as he runs out the door. This is my life. Work, kids, no relief, No break, no way out, no reprieve. This is how I lived for 36 straight years, and 12 of them were in the government projects. I snapped back into reality. My kids are hungry. I open the cabinets to see if there's anything that I can feed them, but they're empty. There's nothing. The milk is gone. Inside, just a few odds and ends that don't amount to a full meal of anything. And I have 5 little blue-eyed, tow-headed kids looking up at me, waiting for nourishment. So I get their coats and mittens on, remembering that this is food pantry day. So we all pile into the family van, and we drive a few miles away to wait in a 3-hour line in 30-degree temperatures. The van is cold, and it has no heat for the drive because my blower fan is out, but I'm thankful because it runs. Last year, we went through 6 transmissions in 4 used cars in 6 months. So if my engine runs and I can get to work, heat is not mandatory. Every 2 weeks, I have to make the choice of taking my paycheck and fixing my van, or putting my gasoline in it so that I can get to work and keep my job. The gasoline wins. By the time we make it to the front of the food pantry line, the bread and soup are gone. I ask if they have any meat. There hasn't been meat for 3 weeks. All that's left is chocolate pudding. And so we leave with 3 grocery bags full of chocolate pudding. We go home, we eat it twice that day, and we eat it again the next day and the next until our food stamps go through. I am at my lowest of the low. I feel like I can't do anything right. The kids are irritable and fighting. They press my patience. The school day is long and bland as my body begs for a nap. I want to be the mom that puts my kids in the van and takes them to amazing places that we study. I want to be the mom that breaks out art projects and teaches my kids foreign languages and grows tadpoles for science class, but I have nothing left to give them. I want to be the mom that goes on bike rides with my kids and plays Legos on the floor with them, but all of my energy was left in the anchor chair. The juggle to be mom and work full time and teach them and pay the bills, it's more than my plate can carry. I'm dropping it all. I'm mediocre at everything and master of nothing. Every day is a race to not make a mistake. I wanted more time for my husband and more time to take care of my body and more time to rest. I wanted time to cook better food. My kids trusted me, and we're eating processed chocolate pudding. They knew that I would take care of them, and yet I knew our power was set to be shut off that day. We didn't have enough in our bank account to keep it on, which meant that we'd have to wear our jackets to bed until the next check cleared, unless I wrote a bad check and I prayed that it didn't bounce before my paycheck was deposited. We didn't have anywhere to turn. I couldn't work harder. I already had a full-time job in homeschooling and a special needs son. My husband had a full-time job in college too, but he was making a few dollars over minimum wage while he finished his degree, and his check wasn't enough to survive. How do you take out when you have no hope? How do you juggle it all when there are more plates than you have hands? How do you find time to care for things that are so very important, your body and your job and your marriage and your faith, when you're in survival mode every moment? We lived in the projects without enough food, sometimes without power, always operating under extreme stress. My husband and I both graduated from college and moved across the country, away from the projects, and we took white-collar jobs in 2007, but we were just surviving because now we had $70,000 in student loans and a mortgage and 2 vehicle payments and credit card debt, and it seemed that everything that we saved was gone immediately in the next emergency. Fast forward another 7 years. I'm sitting in my first Young Living Essential Oils class. I wish I knew then what I know now. I wish I knew that prosperity and freedom were on the other side of the starter kit. I wish I knew when I was hungry and tired and beaten down that if I kept walking a few more steps, that there was release. If only I could manage my clock and find balance. If only I could be disciplined. If only I could find the time. If only I could push my weary body just a little bit more. I had no idea in that very first class where all of this would lead. It was just a kit. It was just a box of oils. I was an accidental business builder with Young Living because I never thought I had enough time. I started sharing oils because I couldn't afford them and I needed them for free, not because I had a solid business strategy. In my head, when I first began, the business was an impossibility because I couldn't pile one more thing on top of 5 kids and my job. I was the one that no one would ever spot to work the business on their team. I was the always busy mom. I was the overworked employee. I was the 30-something that was adrenally burned out. I had no hope. I had no future. Just more years of juggling nothing and dropping everything. If you could predict a leader that would explode on your team, it would not have been me. I was frazzled. I was fried. I was weary. I was the one no one asked. How do you dig out from that place? Is there truly no hope? Why did I stay in a place of survival mode for 2 decades? It's all I thought I was capable of. I had no discipline. I didn't cast wide enough visions. I'm here to tell you everything I thought was wrong. I now believe in freedom for my family, and I believe in it for you. I get to tell you the rest of the story, and it's so much more fun than the beginning. It's a Cinderella story of renewal and change, but it all started with one word, Ula. Ula's a life that's balanced and growing in the 7 key areas of health and well-being. It can be a noun or a verb, a destination or a feeling, as complex as a life growing in finance, fitness, family, field, faith, friends, and fun, the 7 F's of Ula, or as simple as a sunset or a quiet book on the beach or a special moment with a child. It's that place that we all shoot for in life. My name is Sarah Harnish, and I'm a Young Living Diamond, and it seems surreal, but I'm the one woman from the story. The average diamond in Young Living makes over $39,000 a month, according to the Young Living Income Disclosure Guide. It took me 2.5 years from my starter kit to my diamond ship, but I am debt-free. I am no longer hungry. My kids go to bed with real doors instead of sheets for doors, and real walls instead of bookcases for walls. And I have time to care for my body, and I get as much sleep as I need, and I own my clock, and I dictate where my steps will go and how my talent will be used. I am Ula. But that was not how the story began. How do you get from where you are to freedom? What's the strategy? How do you do the daily juggle? Is it possible? How do you turn the story around so quickly? I saw a goal. I set aside excuses. I started to be disciplined with my life. I made little spaces for Young Living, and it grew into something so much bigger than I imagined it would. If you're in that place, if you are battle weary, if you are torn to the core, this book was written for you. It was written for you. This book is where I started. It's written for every word spoken, that there is no time, that it can't be done, that the juggle is impossible, that the climb is too high. I hear you, weary one. I hear you. But I want you to know that you have it in you to make the climb, even if you feel that what you have to give is so very little, right? Those tiny bits can be collected into something amazing if only you manage the self-control to balance the plates you have in the air effectively. And that's what this book is all about. How to do this when you feel you have nothing left to give, because in truth, you do have something to give. You are a hope bringer and you are a world changer, but it starts with your feet, and they only move if you have a vision and a game plan and a little fire to see it through and a little strategy to keep the plates spinning in the air. Ula is all about balance. Balance and time are sisters if you want to have a life that has a positive cadence to it. One of the most common questions I get when I speak is, how do you do it all? Sarah, how do you do it all? Here's the answer. I don't. I am not Wonder Woman. I am not the fastest diamond or the smartest diamond or the smartest diamond. I'm not Wonder Mom. I am no different from you. You know that, right? I still do laundry and wash my dishes. And today I spent the whole day passing liver and gallbladder stones, right? I'm just normal. I'm a normal Joe that's taught a couple more classes than you. That's it. Just a homeschool mom from upstate New York that started in the projects. That's me. That's Sarah Harnish. I don't need anything special after my name or honor or I don't need any of that. What I want is to see you get to diamond, because I believe in you, because I was somebody who didn't have any belief. I was the one that nobody thought could do it, right? But I know you can do it. And so how do I do it all? The answer is I don't. I do a little bit very often. I let perfection go. That's all it takes to rock this. Little targeted moments. Moderation and consistency are very Ula. That's the book, Balance. It's up on Amazon. I want you to get the Balance Mini on my website, and I want you to go teach that book to your teams. I want you to train them that they don't have to be perfect. Yeah, John does too, the laundry, you're right. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to know it all. They don't have to do it all. That's not what it takes to be diamond, because y'all, I am not all that, and I'm a diamond, right? I'm just regular Joe, just a regular Joe. But you have what it takes. You just got to believe that you have what it takes, okay? So what's in that book? I collected over 8,000 time-saving tips and consolidated them into the top 40. I want you to read it and highlight the ones that hit you in the gut, right? Start from those places. There's 2 scripts in the back where I train you how to use the ULA oils for the first time. It's never been written. I give you a topical and an aromatic protocol to really use these things. Write out your weaknesses, fill out your ULA wheel, which is built into the book, right? See where your weakest places are, and then you hone in with those oils, and I train you topically and aromatically how to use oils to bring your life into balance, how to use oils for time management. But here's the thing, train your team, okay? Get the minis, get these in your hands and train your team in time management so nobody comes to you and says, I don't have time to build the business. I see you doing it, but I just can't do it, right? I just can't do it. They can do it. They can do it. They just got to believe that they can do it. And it starts with little tiny steps, right? Grab the ULA Mini and go teach this stuff. Get out of that belief mindset that you just need to learn it. You don't need to learn it. You need your leaders to learn it, right? That's how you get them all swimming in the same direction. That's how you have duplication. That's how you get to diamond, all right? That's how you get to diamond. You take your leaders with you. You don't just see it for yourself and run. You take them with you. All right, you reach down into those places where they don't believe in themselves and you pull them up and you say, I see it in you. I see it in you. You train them. Yes, I'll have them at Elevate. All right, let's wrap this sucker up because I've been talking for a while. So study the ULA book. Highlight the things that'll save you time, that convict you. Teach the ULA classes. There's 2 scripts in it. One for your product users with a whole ULA tea party. And then there's a whole nother script in there just for your business builders. And you take them with you. All right, you take them with you. Use the oils for emotional application. Emotional oils are grossly underused in Young Living. You've got to get them on your body. Most of the time as an aromatherapist, what I see is people are not oiling enough. They're just not. They put the oil on one time and they expect just miracles to happen from that. You got to oil with intent and purpose every single day, sometimes every single hour. Every hour when your head is in that place where it just doesn't think that your feet are going in the right direction. Ironically, the citrus oils are also emotional oils. They're some of the top emotional oils. Lemon? Go Google lemon. All right, go Google lemon and get lost in that one for a little while. There's a reason why Gary Young put it in everything, why it's in all the Thieves products, right? All the cleaning products. You need lemon in your life. So oil with intent and purpose, and I give you a protocol for it. Do you know on my website that I've given you all the tools you need to do to be able to do this? All right, and they're free. They're free. So if you go to start here, share, there's a whole button for ULA. Click on the ULA button. The ULA guys and I shot 10 videos for your classes to make you look good. Oh, I don't want to be on follow-up bags. There we go. 10 videos in here. So I give you samples. Those are printable, so you can print them off and hold your teams accountable. Hold them accountable to oiling with intent and purpose every single day, filling out their wheel, writing down their ULA 1 goals, right? What direction? Using the oils with the protocol emotionally to rein in those excuses. And then these are all the videos I shot with the guys that you can use during your classes. They're free. They don't cost you anything. I even put a blooper reel up there for you, all right? And so the scripts are all in the book, and I just want to see you blessed. I just want to see you past the excuses, past the reasons why you can't do this, and just getting out there and just being disciplined. Just be disciplined with your clock. Be disciplined with your time. Get out there and fight for this, because nobody's going to fight for your family except for you, right? The leaders above you and the ones below you are not going to fight for your family. That's up to you. So if you want freedom, you got to get out there and you got to believe in yourself, and you got to be disciplined with your clock and just do it, right? Delegate your weaknesses. I have another mom, a single mom, do my mailings for me 5 hours a week. I don't like doing them. I write out one note, she copies them all, and she gets all those suckers out for me. My leaders feel loved, and she gets blessed and doesn't have to pay for her ER orders. So, when you have those little places where you can set aside a little bit more, delegate the stuff that really pulls you down so you can spend your time encouraging your leaders, building momentum, training on new topics, right? Keeping them moving. Truly take the ULA book to heart, read it and hold yourself accountable to it, and fill out the wheel and really say, okay, these are my weak areas. Do 15-minute power cleans of your house when you don't have time to deep clean. When you hit silver, hire somebody to clean for you $25 a week. Just do it, right? Just do it so that you've got a little bit more free time. And then do things that actually grow your business. If you only have 2 hours a week, then you spend that time teaching. That will always grow you, always. You might have to put off doing a leaders retreat or hosting a rally because your goal is to get to diamond. All right, your goal is to get to diamond. Now, I don't want to end without speaking to the other crowd too. So there are those of you out there that are hustling your tush off, right? And then there are those of you that are watching the people hustling their tush off. It's the crowd that sees the business, gets overwhelmed, and never starts, right? Never starts. I love this. Karen says, when I hit gold, I got a weekly cleaning service. God bless you, Karen. So did I. So did I. My floors are mopped. Thank you, Jesus. My floors are mopped. It drives me crazy. All right. So the other crowd, the crowd that sees the business, gets overwhelmed, and never starts, ever. You watch the other leaders from afar, knowing it could have been you. If only you'd made the commitment to begin, right? Are you that person? One woman wrote me just this week and she said, I'm sorry, I want to do the business, but my kids have to come first. They have to come before the business. And then I read her note. I walked over and I hit my head on the wall like 5 times. All right, this is the one thing you should be committing to. This is your way out. This is the freedom for your kids, right? This is it. This gets you to them. But you got to focus. You got to hustle. You can't use your kids as a crutch to not teach, to not do the business, right? You got to bring them with you if you don't have a babysitter. Swap with another distributor and take their kids so they can teach, and you go take your kids over to their house and go teach classes, right? Never in my wildest dreams, never in my wildest dreams did I imagine myself in Venice, Italy. Ever. I won it as a silver. I started the contest as an executive. I was one day an executive when that contest launched for the GLC. All right, I didn't win it as a diamond. I stood there in those ancient streets, seeing things that I'd only read about in books for 12 years as a homeschool mom. My kids and I made 1,000 memories together, bizarre, weird Cinderella memories. And this time I was in them. I wasn't watching from afar. All right, let me show you. Let me show you what it looked like. All right, I'll take you right there. I brought up some pictures to show you. This is the key to our hotel room in Venice, Italy. These are my kids eating Venetian pizza, my teenagers, in the streets of Venice, right? It's crazy. There's St. Mark's Square. St. Mark's Square, we're standing in it with my kids, right? St. Mark's Church. Inside that church is the guy that wrote the Gospel of Mark. Yeah, the one that wrote it in the Bible. His body is in there. It was crazy. So the memories that I've had with my kids, standing in medieval torture chambers, right? And just walking the streets of Ephesus, Turkey with my children and seeing the Holy Land and, you know, the paintings on the ceilings in Venice, Italy, and eating gelato for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And just those moments, guys, the moments with your kids when you have freedom, they can't be replaced. You can't put a price tag on the moments that you will have with your family. You can't put a price tag on the places that your feet will go. This is standing in that torture chamber I was telling you about in Doge's Palace in St. Mark's Square in Venice, Italy, right? You know what? I had been a silver for a couple months when I was on that trip. A couple months, right? So maybe there's something in you. It's just like, yeah, I don't think I can do this. You know what? You can do it. You can do it because, remember we talked about earlier, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. All things, not all things except go to Venice or go to Alaska, right? Not all things except those things, all things. But you got to have the discipline to get out there and fight for it and stop coming up with reasons why you can't teach classes. Stop coming up with reasons why people aren't listening to you. You know the reason. The reason is you haven't built the relationship with them, right? You're shoving things down their throat and not building the relationship with them. Stop coming up with reasons why you're not ranking up and people aren't getting on ER. You know the reason. You're not telling them about the lifestyle. You're not training them, okay? You know the reason. Stop telling me you can't find leaders. What's the reason? You haven't taught enough classes to find your leaders yet. You're not giving the business opportunity at the end of your classes. You know the reason. The reason is you, right? The reason is you. And nobody can take accountability for that except for you. So fix it. You either fix it or you stay where you are. You don't want to stay where you are. You want freedom. You want a diamond ship. You want to just cross all that stuff off your bucket list. You want to travel with your babies. You don't want to drop them off at daycare and go to a job you don't want to be at. You want to be with them, making memories with them, right? You want that freedom for your family. You want the time to be able to do cleanses for your body and get 8 hours of sleep a night. Geez, you don't even remember what 8 hours of sleep a night feels like. You want to rekindle things with your spouse. You want to go on a weekend getaway with him and not worry about dropping money for a babysitter because you got time to pour into your husband and you've got the income and resources to be able to do it, right? Because you didn't give up, because you stopped making excuses, because you went for it. You ran for it. What happens when you run for it? This, all right? That's what happens. Diamond happens when you run for it. You stand on a stage, right? With the CEO. Okay, that's what happens when you run for it. You get when you run for it. An oil that Gary made just for you, right? The famous diamond oil, the blend made just for the diamonds. That's what happens when you run for it. You retire from a job that burns you out. You retire from stress that burns you out. You cross things off your bucket list. So what are you going to do? Are you going to keep giving me excuses and telling me you don't have time? Or are you going to get out there and fight for this thing? You're going to get out there and say, no, you know what? Bye-bye fear. I'm done. Bye-bye excuses. Hello reality. I know who I am. I know where I'm going. And sorry, Satan, but you're not stopping me anymore, and you're not getting my head, and I'm not giving you any space in here to tell me what I'm not capable of or what I can't do, because I serve a great big God who loves to do big things with little people, right? Really big things with little people. So go out there and make your 1,000 memories. Yeah, diamond oil, guys. The blend that every diamond gets that Gary made specifically for them. 29 oils in that blend, including Rosa Muerte, which is only made in Ecuador. So many oils in that blend that we don't even have as singles that Gary held back just for the diamonds, right? And a different one for crown and a different one for royal. It's Gary's love just poured all over you for your achievements and your accomplishments, for saying, I will not stop. I'm unstoppable. Right? Because fear, you are a liar. Yes. And I know who I am. I have the blood of a diamond and my feet are marching, and I will not quit. I will not quit. So I'm going to end with a hands-on biblical tip for time management. It's got to start in the home. Time management starts in your house, okay? The Lord says that if we're faithful with the small things, he'll make us ruler over more. So your life should be in this order: God, spouse, kids, work, right? God, spouse, kids, work. Did you hear the spouse over the kids, right? And everything above work, which includes Young Living. If you're faithful with it in that order, brace yourself for the blessings. All right, brace yourself. As Christians, we understand the principle of tithing and giving 10%, but it is lost on us when it comes to our clock. And I've seen time and time again how God just multiplies our time like he multiplies our money when we are faithful with the small things. Faithful with the small things. Oh, we got Lori on here, one of my beautiful diamond friends. Hi, I love her so much. So how do you start? It's simple. Set aside dedicated, uninterrupted time for your business. Maybe it's 15 minutes a day. In this season, maybe it's just that one class a week. You start with a goal. I want to take my kids to Florida. I want to buy grass-fed beef. I want to pay off my credit cards and live debt-free. And then you take one step, right? You teach. You teach with passion. You train the lifestyle. Right? You train your leaders to train the lifestyle. If anybody tells you this is easy, they are lying to you. I am not going to tell you that building a Young Living business is easy. It's not. It takes time, and it's brick by brick. If you're expecting instant gratification, you're going to be a diamond in 6 months. Knock that out of your head, and you just focus on teaching classes. You be so busy teaching. You don't have time for drama. You don't have time for excuses. You don't have time for time management, time delays. You just get out there and you hustle your butt. Okay? You get out there and you hustle brick by brick by brick by brick. You fix your road. All right? Fix your road. And then there'll be this moment where you look back and you say, it was all worth it. There's a time when you realize the freedom that you have. There's a time when the dreams on the vision board are fulfilled. It's coming, but only if you move and only if you're faithful. Okay? So go out there and be faithful. Because you can do it. You've been faithful with so many things in your life. It's time to be faithful with this. It's time. Tomorrow night, we'll be on night 11 out of 12. We're almost done, guys, and I'm going to miss you so much. But don't forget, I put boot camp up on our website. So you can train this entire thing, the whole thing. You can do it with your teams by clicking on Start Here and then Game Plan Boot Camp, right? Start Here and Game Plan Boot Camp. Everything is up there for you. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Grab the book, grab the workbook, and just start taking your leaders through it. Very, very, very simple. Very simple. And just know who you are and what you're capable of, right? Homework tonight, chapters 19 and 20. Read it. Do the workbook for 19 and 20. Share this with your team. Share the video with your teams. It's how you rank. It's how you get free. I know who you are. Do you know who you are? Do you know where you're going? Are you looking forward or are you looking back? It's time, right? It's time. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow night. You've got it in you. You go all the way, all the way. I'll see you tomorrow.